Well, parents are pushing back against the FBI crackdown on school board protests. One Florida mom getting a standing ovation as she slams the DOJ's move to threaten parents.
They want to silence us and shut us down. The only thing to do is have a mass exodus from the public school system. That's it.
And the media mocking concerned parents, going as far as labeling them violent extremists.
When people who just want to volunteer and do their civic duty end up getting threatened by violent extremists, it is a high-threat environment we're in.
To me, is this really about people being upset about mask mandates? Or are there sort of underlying disruptive forces, white nationalists, anarchists, whatever in this country, that are using mask mandates and a public health crisis to sort of wage chaos?
Conservatives manufactured outrage over masks and history lessons, took our school boards hostage like a bunch of screaming maniacs.
Ooh. But despite the NSBA begging the Biden administration to intervene, a report from National Review revealing the vast majority of incidents didn't even escalate to more than verbal exchanges, with 16 of the 24 cited involving no threats of physical violence. Jesse, is this manufactured outrage?
It is, and I read the same letter, and I could only find one actual threat. Someone just mailed a letter to the school board and said, we're going to get you, you're going to pay a price. And that's a local jurisdiction. The FBI doesn't need a task force to handle that. The rest of the things they consider domestic terrorist threats, chanting, holding up a sign, refusing to wear a mask, objecting to critical race theory, exceeding their allotted speaking time at the meeting. One guy got a summons because he wouldn't leave after he was loud, and then loud yelling. None of that is considered something you'd prosecute under the Patriot Act. This is a snowflake letter. I read the whole thing. I get more threats after each show than they've gotten all year. And if you think they can only compile 24 incidents of a threatening behavior, a country of 300 million people for an entire year, and they can only come up with one mean letter, that means the thing doesn't even add up.
Greg, is this the federal government wanting to silence these parents?
It's a combination of the Democrats, the media, and the activist class in an attempt to control the population, really. And imagine how real terrorists must feel. This is deeply offensive when you're working really hard as a terrorist and they're calling these decent mom and dads terrorists. But imagine being a parent, when you throw around the T word, I mean, that's war. And I'm serious about it. If you want to red pill millions of parents, call them terrorists, and then use the government to prosecute them, you are going to energize millions of people. And what you're going to be left with, you're not going to be left with the Tea Party. You're not going to be left with Black Lives Matter. You're going to have something that's bigger than both of them combined. I'm for it. I would like to see the parents become politically reborn. I would like them to the exodus from the public schools. I would like them to embrace school choice in every city. But this is going to be the new BLM. The more you target these people, the more you try to drive them underground, the more you try to scare the crap out of them by calling them terrorists, you're going to just create a monster, and you're not going to know what to do with it.
And was this even worthy of labeling parents violent extremists or terrorists or whatever it is, Richard, when we saw that a majority of these incidents didn't involve actual physical threats?
And I hope they don't, right? I hope nobody gets prosecuted here. But I do think that there's a clear bright line. If you go, our school board meetings, just like our city council meetings, just like our congressional meetings, are open to the public. And you should be able to go and voice your opinion, whether you do it with a little bit of anger or you do it with a happy face. With that being said, the bright line for me is once you voicing your opinion goes to you sending a letter or you engaging in a death threat or you harassing somebody physically. We've seen a couple instances of that happening. And I think those have to be prosecuted, and you have to make a clear distinction between the two. Going to a school board meeting and having your voice heard is one thing. You should be allowed to do that. If you decide that you're going to engage physically with somebody or you're going to send a threatening letter to their office, that's something else that should be taken very seriously. And the case that comes to mind for me is you think about what happened to Gabby Giffords. Why we have to take these cases seriously? Because one incident that doesn't get investigated could be an elected official getting wounded, an elected official getting hurt. But there's a very clear bright line between going to a meeting and being angry and sending a threatening letter. And I think most of the parents that go to these meetings are angry and upset because of a school board decision. Very few minimally, go to the point of I'm going to now threaten somebody's life or I'm going to cause harm to somebody. And for those folks who decide to cause harm, they are breaking America's
Well, there are laws
We could
against that,
easily
right?
use the
There's laws in the
Scalise
book.
shooting and put that on Democrats. We could say, oh, because of the Scalise shooting, anybody who comes into a meeting and spouses some kind of liberal whatever, that's a threat. That's the conflation. That's what we're seeing right now.
But no one's going to be more passionate about an issue than parents and their own children.
Right.
And that's where the difference is. And the unions and the politicians, particularly Democrats, have been working hand in hand to keep parents out of the process. And it is an incredibly dishonest undertaking. And that's why they're so upset, because you know what? Parents, we sat around and we watched our kids atrophy in their bedrooms on Zoom while their teachers did, hiding behind their unions, whatever they could to work as few as 3 hours a day. And, you know, they had asynchronous learning, which was essentially videos that they were playing where kids were not learning. And now kids aren't being tested to find out what the deficits were during the pandemic because these unions are protecting them. So parents have seen behind the curtain and they are pissed. And so what they're doing is they're trying to protect their kids and take back their education because they have been disconnected from the process for so long. And you're absolutely right. This is just the start. And you're seeing more and more parents, and they're not just white nationalists. You're seeing a lot of Asian parents and Southeast Asian parents and Persian parents who are actively targeted in places like Los Angeles because they're very vocal about their kids' education. And I hope it becomes a cultural norm once again that parents are involved and they care deeply and they make sure that the curriculum serves
I do feel like every time we have these conversations, I want to say there are so many teachers that do care so deeply about their students all over the country, many who work in public schools.
Yes.
And this is obviously a problem in some areas of the country. To the mom, though, who suggested that the only solution is an exodus from the public school system, real quick, Jesse, what did you think?
Well, it sounds great on paper, but not everybody can afford private schools or Catholic schools, and not everybody has the school choice option or the homeschool option. But I like the sentiment behind it, and I think if people feel that way, they should do whatever they need to do.